Hello, my name is Tash Courtenay-Smith, and I'm also Steve's business partner in a digital agency called Bolt Digital, and we run integrated digital marketing campaigns in e-commerce and lead generation for a mix of businesses. And I also am a trainer for Facebook, so I go around the country teaching people on behalf of Facebook how to use Facebook and Instagram to grow their business.
So that's Tash. Maxine, what's your name? Where'd you come from?
I'm Maxine, and my company is Absolute Collagen. It's a 10 mil marine collagen supplement. So knew I had a great product, had overcome all these hurdles, and sat there and went, okay, how am I going to get this to market? So went to this great day in London, meet the buyers, Enterprise Nation, there's a lot of buyers there. And I sat down, like I said, at this point I was already realising I wasn't the marketeer and I needed somebody behind me, alongside me. And Tash gave a talk on Facebook marketing. And she sort of did the talk and she had any questions. And I put my hand up and I said, are you taking on any more clients? I wanted that woman. I knew Tash was the person I wanted to work with. And so that was it really, wasn't it? We met up and Tash first of all said, no, I'm not taking on any more clients, then saw the product and went, oh, actually, you know. I, at that point, knew I wanted these guys behind me, alongside me, and I chose to listen to my instincts that told me, take that step. So what's happened? So we switched Facebook on. Tash worked her little magic and waved some wands and set up all the funnels, and it's all a bit bizarre. And I still look at it today, and to me, it's like looking at Chinese. I literally go, what? You know, and it's mind-blowing, it really is. And I can honestly say that Tash and her team and Steve and Bolt have turned my business around. You know, we haven't turned it around. We've created the business. You know, we've gone from turning over, I think in the first month it was 2 grand, 4 grand, 5, 8, then it kept going up.
You were doing 2, right?
Yeah.
Just through friends and family.
Yeah.
And then our figures went something 4, 9, 15, and then
18, 25, 28. And in fact, I remember, because we're on Shopify, you get a ping every time you get a sale. And we used to jump around the house going, oh my God, we got a sale. And I remember the day we turned it off, because it was really annoying. Oh my God. And it just kept going up and going up and going up. And, you know, now we're on 100 and, Paul, what did we turn over last month? 138. That was just Shopify alone. Obviously, we do Amazon. And
this is 12, that was the month 12 from September. So we started the campaigns in September 2017.
Yeah, so there's a couple of months of bedding down when nothing really happens. That's a bit scary. And it's like, God, you know, nothing, you know, you have to have patience. And yeah, we're there now, and it's really exciting. It is exciting, but for us, it's not just about getting the sales. You have to hold on to those sales. We do a subscription model, so we do a 14-day and a 28-day subscription, and so we get an awful lot of customer service. To me, is really, really important, and my daughter will laugh when I say this. I work on the power of yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full sir. Even when the customer's wrong, they are right. And everyone knows that. And SIR stands for they have to feel safe when they make that purchase. We're not just a Chinese company that's, you know, going to poison them, because that's a hell of a lot we got in the early days. Who are you? And what am I ingesting? They need to feel important, that you're going to look after them and they're going to get their product. And they need to feel respected. And this is, again, where Tash and her team come in, because to me, respected is about sending them information that they want. You know, I don't feel like I'm pestering a client when I e-shop them. I'm giving them valid information that on the product they're purchasing. And Tash is, you know, they've been very instrumental in that. And yeah, we're really enjoying the journey together, aren't we?
Okay, so the technical name for what we do, and I can get really technical and get very overexcited about this sort of stuff, is we run Maxine's direct-to-consumer customer acquisition and scaling and repurchase strategy. So our job as an agency, and actually it's really interesting because in the beginning, you know, Maxine came to me with an unproven product that I thought looked amazing, and I thought it ticked all the boxes in terms of my background is in mainstream media, working for national newspapers and women's magazines. So I thought, well, the product looks the part. And I thought Maxine had a great story, but it was still an unproven product. So really, in the first instance, we were trying to see if the product would sell, which it did. I think the first month we did 4,900. And then it really became about trying to see if people would buy it again, which they did. And now it's very clearly about the role of the Facebook funnels that we run as an agency are about acquiring new customers, because we now know that once we've got them acquired, they will then repeat buy or buy a subscription. And we also support the repurchase rate through email marketing and through retargeting on Facebook and Instagram. So it's quite clear. So we kind of go out, I see it like if we're a train, which we're obviously not, but we can pretend we're a train, we go out at the front engine and get new customers for Maxine. That's our job. And then we pass them on to Maxine, or the whole infrastructure you've got, where they do have a brilliant product. It does work. I mean, the reviews that are coming on the product are incredible. And Maxine delivers this amazing customer service, and part of our role is also in the second carriage to drive repeat purchase. So that's really, and then because of the repeat purchase, what you have is a compounding effect where we now know, and actually it's only really in the last few months and working with Paul that we've really started to get lifetime value of the two types of customer we have. So somebody who buys a single product and somebody who becomes a subscriber. So we now know, in the last few months, this data's come through, and it's still, bearing in mind the business has only been really trading for a year, like this data's still increasing all the time. But we now know the average average value of somebody who buys the first product just as a one-off purchase at $29.99, their average value will be about £60 or £70, whereas the average value of someone who is a subscriber is £150. So we're now able to really acquire customers feeling really confident that we know the future value of those customers as well as getting them for their first purchase. So that's what we do, and it's been amazing seeing it working and scaling. And also what's really great is we test lots of different ad creatives. So we made so in the social landscape, you're effectively using content as an advert to stop the scroll and engage people. We did a sort of news feed, a news story inspired creative, which was all about Maxine's personal story, which did really well, didn't it?
And I hated it.
She hated it. And another one she did, she was like, another one ad creative we used top of funnel, so acquiring customers. Maxine was like, oh, can you get that one down? It looks like I've got a crick in my neck.
I did have.
She did. So I was like, oh, really? So I went and looked at it, and then I emailed and said, Maxine, it's really performing well. Can we just leave it? Like, who cares about the crick in your neck? What we can see is this visual story of you is really working, so we won't be turning that off at this stage. And also, I think what's really interesting in terms of a multi-channel e-commerce strategy is we are trying to acquire customers on social networks, but you quite often get customers commenting, oh, this looks good, I'm going to go and buy it on Amazon. And I'm thinking, oh, I need you to buy it through Facebook because I want you to show in our purchases. You know, we've got no way of tracking, as all of us know with Amazon brands, there's no integration with Facebook's tracking. But you do see that, and people say that to you, and particularly 100%. With men. Yeah. So you're marketing to them on Facebook, trying to get them to Shopify, and they take an independent decision to go and buy on Amazon, and they even leave a comment telling you that's what they're going to do. So it's interesting in terms of the marketing touch points and then not knowing, and then the way the consumer behaves. The reason this product works really well is because it's got a sort of X factor about it that means it works well in the social landscape, naturally through the branding, the packaging, the type of product it is. It's kind of something unusual. It's the sort of thing that would attract a bit of attention and stand out. So paid social advertising will not be the right platform for all products. The first thing is the product likely to survive in that social landscape? Another thing we see all the time as an agency is that the competition on Facebook in terms of creative and media production, the bar is raising all the time. I mean, we were talking in the office yesterday about, if you look at the first creatives we did for Maxine last September, you know, they were just the photos of Jamie. They were so simple compared to what we do now, which is quite... It's all using real people, but there's a real element of eye-catching creatives and lots of real testimonials all mashed together into a sort of fast storyline. And then I think the next thing about Facebook and Instagram advertising, the paid side, is that you're really playing a kind of quite fun, I think it's a brilliant game, between creativity and the algorithm and teaching these platforms how to learn who your customers are. But it's also quite a complicated game, and it's one that a lot of people just do a few boosted posts and then say, oh, Facebook advertising didn't work for me. And you look at their campaigns, you think, we never stood a hope in hell, because that's not a marketing funnel. You're not giving different messages to different people. So it's, in terms of, is it something you can learn to do yourselves? Yes, but is it going to require a very steep learning curve and a lot of skills that you may have to develop or outsource in terms of getting the right video creatives and creative production? Then yes, it is. I can't really say it's really easy, because it's not.
Didn't want you to.
Okay.
Give him a big round of applause. Thank you.